fear of failure and fear of success. People are afraid of actually being successful. Everybody talks about it, and then also, it's not just a fear of success, it's the reps. It's the days where it doesn't feel good and you still need to produce. Everybody's chasing comfort. It's not just getting started, it's getting started uncomfortably.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. If you're either watching this or listening to this, better yet, doing both. If this is your first time here, you have just found the best damn podcast you've never heard or seen before in your whole life. We are better known as OGSR, or some people even call us old guys that still rock. And today, if this is your first time here, we are on episode number 164. It is another monumental mark in the world of podcasts. Why I say that is that a lot of people say, I'm going to start a podcast. And about 3 episodes later, they disappear. And here we are on 164. We are still going strong. The cool thing about this is like, well, gosh, how have I never heard about this podcast? And you're in episode number 64. Is because we are not on a podcast market type of thing. We are homegrown, we're natural, we have all the channels of Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, but we're not on this platform getting paid by sponsors or paid by advertisers. So we are grassroots. So what we need from you, if you're checking in, is you need to help us grow. And we want to grow organically because it said something to you, it helped one of your friends, whatever it may be. But we need you to share the show. Or better yet, subscribe to the channel that you're listening to on this and then hit the notification bell. But enough of that. I'm Blair Armstrong, a Team Armstrong Coldwell banker. I'm a global luxury specialist in the world of residential real estate here in the beautiful and super freaking hot and muggy today, Coachella Valley. And then the other part of this screen that you see is the other host of the show and a good friend of mine for 30 years is Brent Wright of Brent Wright Incorporated. Man with many different hats, from body shops, detail shops, payroll companies. He is a part of a venture capitalist group, and he's also a financier to a world-renowned wellness center. It may not be world-renowned right now, but anyway.
Coming soon.
But if you want to know more about us, we said we have another 163 episodes that you can go check us out and figure out who we really are. But besides that, or moving on from that, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Linktree Brent Wright, by the way.
Yeah.
You'll see a number of things that I do, but super weird. We're in the middle of July, and we're supposed to have rain today.
I wish we had some rain.
Yeah, it's going to be 73 degrees.
Oh,
yeah, crazy. You probably were 73 when you woke up this morning.
We were 85 this morning.
Woo.
It is. We are in the heart, or the teeth of summer. In the next month and a half, we just wake up to 85. It gets. I took the garbage out last night at 9:30, and it was still 96 degrees outside.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's just hot. So, you ready?
Yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's get started.
Let's get started. That's the theme today. And 164 is get started. So, a lot of times I feel like, hey, I'm going to start a workout or I'm going to start a business. And this is going to be good because you're a good business coach and a big personal coach, which you didn't talk about at the beginning of the introduction. When guys are coming to you, it's like, I'm thinking about starting a business. When they say that to you, or I'm thinking about joining a wellness center, what are some of the comments that you give back to them or start talking to them about? Because I feel like I'm thinking about starting is this hurdle that they mentally put in front of them to, if it doesn't start, then I just thought about it.
Well, my first question is why?
Right.
And then that goes deeper. Not only why do you want to start, but what goal you're trying to accomplish. What's the mission? What's the overarching dream or vision that you have that surrounds that? And then why haven't you started yet? Why are you just thinking about it? And then most of the time I hear people say the answer to that why is because I want to make money. Well, if you just want to make money, don't start a business.
Yeah, do not do that.
Do not and do that. And that usually throws up this kind of like defense mechanism. Well, why? Aren't I entitled to make money? Yes, of course. But if you're only going into it just to make money, you're going to fail. You need to solve people's problems, either other people's or your own, and you need to focus on that. What core thing is the business going to solve for you and for them? And then go down that road. If you're going to join a wellness center, what core problem are you trying to solve? Whenever I do a consult with somebody about a business or a consult about personal goals or anything, it doesn't matter what it is, whether their workout program, their eating program, their peptide program, their business, anything that they're working on, it's always what are you trying to solve? What problem are you trying to solve for you or for someone else? And then dissect that. And then really ask the question, why now?
Yeah. And so when you're doing that, that's kind of, we'll stay in the business side. And there's a couple of the things of just getting started that I want to scratch the surface on too. But when you're getting to that, I'm like, well, I don't know. As you said, I want to make some money, or I always thought that I wanted to start a business. Would you say, maybe they give you the why they want to do it and go through that process? Would you say the hardest step for them is just to take the first step of just like, well, I really don't know how to do this? Would you just say that's the biggest step is the first step? And I feel also in the same sense as I feel that people are thinking that I just need to get to B as fast as possible, and not understanding that the process between A and B could be 5, 10, 15 years to get to where they ultimately be. So do you help them? Do you help them in that aspect of like, okay, I understand that you want to get here, but we have to hit these steps?
Well, yes and no. So most people think starting a business is this daunting task. I can start a business in like 25 minutes.
Right.
I can set the LLC docs up. I can upload them to the state. I can register your business. We can get an operating agreement built out. That's the super easy part. Who's going to fund it? What problem are you going to solve? What's your product? Who are you going to market to? Who's your marketing person? There's so many layers. But ultimately, most people don't even have a 1 month goal when they start a business, let alone a 1 year, a 3 year, a 5 year, a 10 year, a succession plan. So I'm working with a group of folks right now and have been for about 4.5 years. And we're trying to develop a succession plan, all the while trying to polish their business to make it successful today. And they started the business because they wanted to have sustainable farming. They want to have sustainable food. They didn't have a vision. They didn't have this massive thing. And it just kind of has grown into this thing that has its own personality. And then that personality started taking over. It was kind of like an alter ego, if you will.
Right.
And it just started taking over their life, and they felt out of control. I would tell you 99% of business owners I talk to feel out of control.
That's a good thing though, right?
Sort of.
Okay.
So you have to have a little bit of ADD, and you have to have the ability to manage that ADD, yours or others, and you have to be able to control some of the uncontrollables to make it tolerable and palatable for you and your customers. And then you also have to be able to survive, right? And then you
Right.
have to create a thrive program. So most people start a business because they're a crappy employee or some version thereof, but most people don't even start a business and have an idea on how to begin.
When you have that, so they're speaking to this. So maybe some young guys or have this entrepreneurial mindset, or they watch all these cool things. Obviously, we talked about the good parts of social media, the bad parts of social media. See these guys start a business and like, I'm making 500 million my first year, and this is how I did it. And then they guys could try to duplicate that. So saying you're talking to a person or someone comes up to you, hey, I want to start a business. What are some, are you, I guess I'm trying to find the right answer. And I keep going back to this. I feel like, are you feeling okay? Let's get started. Well, going back to your farming thing, they just started to have sustainable food.
Mm-hmm.
Never thought it was going to get to the part where it was going to get to. Then it took a personality. Are you more encouraging to me as like, okay, let's just get started and we'll figure it out on the road and we'll learn by osmosis? Or do you like to say, yeah, that's a good idea, but in the same sense, let's start developing a little plan what's going to look like in the next 1 to 3 months?
Well, a little bit of both. So the first step is you have to start. And I'd rather see somebody start something and learn along the way than I would see them never start. Right? Because the first step is getting started. I mean, part of our notes is fear the first rep, not the marathon.
Right.
So just do the first rep. The the bigger problem is that most people again don't have a vision, but they also don't usually take the first step. I'll tell you a little quick story. So there's someone that wants to go into business with me, and a year ago they came to me and said, I want to go into business with you, but I don't know what it looks like. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And I formulated a plan. And I said, on this day, we're going to do these things and all these things. And I gave them the roadmap. And I feel like they took that roadmap, folded it into 4 pieces, and put it in their back pocket. And they've just been sitting on it. So here we are a year later. The business isn't started. And every time I see them, they're like, I'm going to have to follow up with you. We're going to get started on this. We're going to do something. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to solve a lot of problems. Okay. So let's start with the first problem.
When are you going to start?
When are you going to start? Well, I was waiting for you. Don't wait for others. Just do it. Nike says it perfectly. Just do something. Just do it.
Right.
If you're going to wait for others, you're going to wait forever.
Right.
Why, if you have a dream and a vision, are you waiting for others?
Well, it's almost when we talk about, the power of one more too. And we talk about a lot on there. But anyway, we're talking about that. We've had a couple of team members join recently, and it just like, what is it going to entail? What's this? Just like, well, let's just get started. First thing, let's get your real estate license, and we'll get that, and we're going to learn along the way. I can go ahead and give you a bunch of SOPs. I can give you a bunch of how-tos, and you can read it. And until you kind of get to, which obviously getting your license, you have to kind of be in it every day. But the first thing it is to go down, sign up, get your classes, get your license done. And in the meantime, we're gonna help you along the road. So when you get your license, you're up and running. But I think that's the biggest thing, and it's always the biggest hurdle. What you just talked about, the guy that you want to start or that wants to start a business with you, or the person who wants to start a business with you, is you can talk about it all you want. Okay. if you're not going to take one step or two steps or 15 steps, and maybe after using just a visual, maybe after 15 steps, there's a pothole. Just because there's a pothole doesn't mean you can't go to the next step. You just got to keep on taking those one more step, one more step, one more step. But if you sit at the starting line and just wait for someone else to like, okay, you ready? We can paint a picture of a dream and an opportunity. But if there's no action in that, then it's just a conversation to me.
I'd rather work with somebody that's a ready, fire, aim person.
Right.
Than I would work with somebody that's a ready, aim, adjust their aim, adjust their aim, adjust their aim, and never fire.
Yeah. Or I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it when I'm a little bit more financially stable. No, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be a little bit.
You're never going to be more financially stable.
No, we have. I work with some people that are like, yeah, you know, when I get to this spot, I'm going to start doing this. I'm like, well, just start it now. What are we waiting for?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because every time you wait, it's going to take longer and longer for you to get going. You'll have all the tools, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. As I've found out over the course of my career, is people do have the tools. They may not have the instruction booklet how to use those tools, but at least pick up the tool and start tinkering with it and kind of figure
use
it out.
It as a club.
Something. Beat your computer with it, beat your boss with it, beat your business partner with it. I don't know. Just pick up the tool. Or someone like, okay, here is the instructions for how to use this tool or mechanism. Start playing with it. Make it your own. How does it best fit you? Those are the type of things. But I think that's the biggest thing that we'll keep repeating over and over on this, because that's what the theme of this podcast is, or the topic of this podcast is, just get started. And now I'm going to total switch gears right now, and because we talk about this and how you and I got married later on in life, and there's hurdles that we did getting married later in life, but our relationship is, okay, I have to make an adjustment. Do I want to wait 5 years down the road to make the adjustment to that relationship, or do I want to start now? And it may not be a fun journey to get to that next level in your relationship, but getting started instead of just talking about it is going to produce more fruit than it just sitting on the sideline and having that relationship possibly dissolve.
Yep. I will give you a little golden nugget right now. The people that aren't willing to take the first step are usually the people that aren't willing to do the reps.
But I just want to hit the easy button.
Yeah. There's no success in the easy button, guys.
But
I've talked about this on the podcast before. I tried to coach a guy, ended up firing him. He went to every seminar. He spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions, literally, getting educated. And our first coaching session, I said, what are you going to do today to move the needle for tomorrow? Well, I'm going to meet with one of my mentors, and I'm going to get his take on what you say. So basically, you're just going in a circle. You're getting all this education. You're getting all these people to give you feedback, but then you never take actionable steps. I said, do you have a marketing person? Yep. Have you reached out to them and asked them where your website is, where your marketing is, what's going on with that? Well, that's their job. No, it's your job to follow up. You can only, you have to inspect what you expect, not just with others, but with yourself. And just learning about something isn't actually doing. There are so many people that I know that are so book and seminar smart and have never created anything in their lives.
Why do you think that is?
I think people are addicted to knowledge and scared about doing.
Okay, scared of doing. So scared of failing, right? Like, okay, I
Mm-hmm.
know a bunch of stuff and I can talk about it. I can sit at the water cooler and talk about all the cool stuff that I learned. But if you're not actually putting pen to paper or, stepping forward, is it more than, yeah, okay, I can talk about getting started, but when your coaching world, is it more of, do you have conversations of like trying to get people past the fear of failure
Mm-hmm.
more and more than talking about what's the next step?
Yeah, coaching session this morning. Gentleman has a construction business, and he's so focused on the finite details that he hasn't created a vision for himself, and he hasn't created a vision for his employees. And so his employees don't know where he's going because he doesn't know where he's going. So we worked on vision. I said, I want to create a vision that scares the hell out of you. Where are you at today? Well, we're going to close out the year at 500,000. Okay. So what's your goal? What's your personal goal? Well, I want to become a farmer. How much money is it going to take to become a farmer? It's going to take X. Perfect. How is your business going to pay you X? Well, we have to get to 4 million before it can pay me X. Perfect. So now your goal is 4 million. I don't know how we're ever going to do that. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the things. We don't have the processes. We don't have whoa, we're just creating a vision right now. I know, but that scares me. Good.
You've brought that up multiple times today. So when you say and created a vision, so, and I think I'm going to really be talking about myself today. I can go ahead, and I've talked about this with my team, like, hey, this is where I want to be. I want to be this way. It's so many years. What is the best tool? You can help coach me on this and hopefully coach others on this. When you're creating the vision, how are you, when you're talking to the team lead or the business owner or whatever it is going to be, how are you coaching them to create that vision to share to others? Because the vision inside my head may not translate to the other people. So when that business owner or the team lead is sharing that vision, what are some of the tools that you're giving that business person to make sure that the team or the employees are understanding that vision?
Well, it's twofold. It's creating a vision so large that everybody else's vision fits inside of it. So you have to get feedback from those people. Where do you want to go? Do you see yourself being here in 10 years? Do you see yourself being a part of the solution? Do you want to help me craft my vision? There's not really a tool. It's more
Right.
of a discussion. It's more of an encompassed, focused team goal that everybody has to buy into. And if you have one person in that organization who's not bought into that goal and not bought into that vision to help you create that and craft that on a daily basis, then you need to get somebody out of that position and get a new person into that position.
And that might be hard if you have somebody for a while, right? And you get maybe brought in some new people and doing some different things. And you realize that there may be a heavy weight on the line that's not buying into that or doing the things that you
That's why
want
you
you
got
to
to be
help with
slow to hire and quick to fire,
fire. Yeah.
right? Because this is compounding interest. It's no different than compounding interest when it comes to your finances. It's compounding interest when it comes to the investment. Every little thing that each person does should have an ROI and should compound to the overarching vision and goal.
Yeah. It could be a tough situation too, right? If you've had this person, maybe the person's been with you for a while, maybe the employee's been with you a while, and you brought in some new ones that are a little bit more hungry, and you have to understand that maybe this just isn't the fit that you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And that might be tough emotionally for the team lead or the business owner, whatever it be. It's like, God dang, I love you, But you know, I, I don't know what else to do to help you out. You don't seem to really want to do the things that need to be done to get done, and you're killing yourself. Staying at the starting line, not starting.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Have you had that? I mean, you've had so many employees, obviously through the body shop and the detail shop,
Yeah.
and you've coached a lot of guys along, and they really want to be, and you've given them opportunities to be business partners and so forth. I remember all those conversations we've had over the years, and how many of those failed. I mean, when you
Well,
get to,
out of a 20-year period, it's been 300 plus people that have
crazy,
come
right?
come through my organization.
What do you think their biggest? I mean, is it going back to just getting started, or they started and like, yeah, this is not what I thought it was, when they just failed, or
Two major points: fear of failure and fear of success.
mm-hmm.
People are afraid of actually being successful. Everybody talks about it, but and then also it's not just the fear of success, it's the reps. It's the days where it doesn't feel good and you still need to produce. Everybody's chasing comfort. It's not just getting started, it's getting started uncomfortably. You have to step into the firing line and being willing to take those shots and failing consistently. Out of the 1,000 things that I do every day, I fail like 980 of them.
Ain't that the truth, brother?
Right? And it's I don't fear failure. I embrace failure.
There's
I mean,
always a
just
learn.
just just getting started on this podcast today,
Yeah, yeah.
right? 6 minutes of links not working and all the things would have been so easy just to say, you know what, not today, guys,
Yeah.
not today.
You know, yeah. I mean, gosh darn. How about doing the five? Your the power list, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one or something happens or whatever. At the end of the day, there should be a learning experience in that. Okay, I didn't get.
How
I
many
got.
times in the power list did you write? If you went back to your power list and looked back at the last year, how many F's did you have at the bottom and how many S's?
Oh man, I've had a lot. I've had a lot, and it's mostly because of uh, procrastination. I'm going to do some stuff or get some stuff, and I'm like, and it's the funny thing is, dude. At the end of the day, for me, it's the 10 pages of reading. I can get all my stuff done, and I'm like, well, God, it's just 10 pages of reading, but that helps my progression to help become a better leader. And if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
keeping my brain active, that's a fail. And well, what does that have to do with business? What does that have to do with relationships? Because when I'm reading words and stuff like that, not only does it help me articulate things a little bit better, have conversations a little bit better, but it is also helping me get better, and it's giving me action points. It's setting those triggers so when those things do happen, I know how to counteract them and get through them. And I find myself when I do miss reading 10, 3 or 4 days, which may not seem important to a lot of people, and maybe it's not to them. Um, uh, you can tell the difference in how your day happens and how you get through things. Even journaling. If I miss a day of journaling, right? Um,
Yep.
it just, I go through it. And the funny thing is now, if I triggered my stuff, if I miss a day of journaling, which is not on my power list anymore because I'm pretty consistent, it's the first thing I do in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I've taken that off. I put stuff else in there to get, add to the bandwidth, and to the just getting started, adding something to the bandwidth to go and expand. But anyway, I still put the date that I missed
Mm-hmm.
on that journal
So
because,
speaking of which, last week I said I'm going to take the challenge from Gigi and start journaling.
yeah,
Out of the last 7 days, I have missed 6 days. I've done one day, and I can tell you the difference in that day that I journaled, the change that happened in me my ability to have forethought, have discernment, have surrender, have direction was so overarching that now I'm kicking my own tail every day that I miss. And I can tell you that that one day made a huge difference in my life. But I failed 6 times.
But you kept starting.
But I kept starting, and at least, like you said, write the date down.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So now I can measure it. So I had one success out of 7 days, and I had 6 failures. Is that going to stop me today? No. I started today with the date on the top, and I'm going to try and hold myself accountable to that. But even just writing the date on the top feels like a something I can successfully say that I at least I finished the date. And I count that little win. I held myself accountable to at least putting the date on.
Yeah. Something so nominal, which, by writing 100,000 words, whatever, how much you want to journal that day, whatever it is. I mean, there's no right or wrong amount of time to journal on there. But the ripple effect by doing that and helping your brain and helping you get the thoughts out of your head and to give you some clarity and maybe some stuff that you're going through of refocusing. And as I said to, when we talked with Gigi last week, I'm using my journal to have a conversation with God. That's my stuff. I'm like, hey, I'm having this situation. I'm trusting in you that you're going to show me the wisdom or give me the words that I need to help me get out of this situation. And it's not me in a bad situation. Maybe I'm trying to help somebody out or figure out how to become a better leader. But I'm really having this conversation with him and I'm getting it out of my mind. So I feel like I'm progressing forward. I guess that's what I was looking for. When I'm writing, I'm progressing forward. I'm addressing the situation. I'm addressing the win. I'm addressing the loss in my mind to get it out to him. I'm like, okay, you got me to this point. What's the next move? And that is the cool thing about having conversations with God. I know that he's always listening.
Mm-hmm.
And if I pay attention to that, for his next step, that really helps me along. The cool thing that I also love about just getting, that's why I said, if you guys haven't journaled, get started on that. It's just another tool in your toolbox to help you move along. It's cool to go back and read stuff from 2 years ago. You're like, wow,
Mm-hmm.
what a mess that was. But here I am because I continued to work forward to that and address the, it's okay that I lost on that day. But I did, as we always say, a loss is actually a win, because if you take that loss and make the adjustments to address it, fix it, and move forward, it's actually a win. So don't take the negative connotation as the word loss brings mentally. Take it as, okay, got it, learn from it. Now I'm going to turn this into a win.
Do something so simple to start your day, like making your bed. Right? Motivation is unreliable. You need to create systems and habits so that way you show up when it's not comfortable and when it's a bad day.
How's you say that? I've been doing it for the past couple of weeks because I wasn't doing it for a while. I was making my bed when I got up. How stupid is it to think that's not a big deal to make your bed? What is it when you make your bed in the morning? Is there a sense of accomplishment in that? It really
Well,
kind
for
of
sure. So it goes back to my OCD. It's, you remember the old knock, dun 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 dun.
yeah.
It's called a haircut and a shave. Look that up if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Some of you guys may, even if you're older, you may not have seen those movies. They're silent movies, black and whites. It was a comedy skit, but it's about completion. I always have to complete something. So for me, not making my bed feels like I started my day already lost the first battle. I've already lost. The days that I don't get out of my bed, make my bed, drop to my knees, do my prayer, do my gratitude, those days are a loss just as soon as you woke up. And it's the haircut and the shave. I didn't complete the shave.
Right? I'm scrambling in the morning. No, I don't have time to make my bed.
What do you have time to do?
Right?
Right? Start asking for all of your failures, start asking yourself the questions. Why don't you have time? Did you hit snooze 5 times? Do you need to set your alarm a half hour earlier? Is it important to you to win or to fail?
So many different starts, right, that we've brought up in these topics, and we're going to obviously continue on this, but we've talked about so many different starts. You're having situations with your relationship. What's the failure that you want to start correcting? If you are having a hard time in business, what are you going to start today to take those failures or those hurdles that you have in front of you to start making them better? If you're having troubles with
Although they're only a hurdle if you don't jump over them.
correct, and that's what I'm saying is like, I'll get to it tomorrow. And what happens is, this is coming from a person, me, that to this day, there's certain things I procrastinate on, and it becomes a bigger problem, because if I would just started just a little bit of it, it would have been a lot easier. It's still a journey. There's still going to be situations.
Even if you started and failed, at least you started.
Better than nothing, right?
Better than nothing.
But getting to it tomorrow, it festers. That's what I said is even as maybe having to pick up a phone call to have a hard conversation with somebody, or have, going to the gym because you're not feeling well, and maybe not being able to give 100% of the gym. There's days that I get to the gym that I am probably at 40%, but I'm going just to keep in that repetitive motion, so I can have this story in my mind that no matter what, I can continue moving forward. And every day that I get up is a new start. There are going to be different obstacles. There are going to be different hurdles. There are going to be different challenges. There are going to be different wins. But every day is a new start in my head. You have taught me that over our conversations that we've had to it. Is today is today. Yesterday was yesterday. Don't look in the rearview mirror, which we've talked about in the past. Remember, is keep looking forward that windshield. I understand that something may have happened in the background that's in the rearview mirror. Today's a new mile. Today's another step forward. Today's another workout. Today's another day to get to start for, as I said, a better marriage. Just continue to start every day. And yesterday could have been a win or a loss, but it doesn't mean you can't start to get 1% better. So
but Blair, I want to be successful, but I don't want to do what you do every day. But I don't want to make my bed, Blair. But I want to be successful. I don't want to work out every day, Blair, but I want to be successful. I want my business to thrive.
Yeah.
I want my personal relationships to thrive. You know what that tells me?
That you don't want to do it.
You just don't want to do it. You don't want to be successful. Success is a dream to some people and an action to others.
Yeah. I told you I was talking to you about this last night with my long drawn out conversation that I had with a client yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be out 15 to 20 minutes. And this topic reminds me of this. They are more seasoned in life. And when I use the word seasoned, they're older. I don't like to say the word old or seasoned, because they've accomplished the past 80, 70 years old and get to 80s and approaching 90s. That's a good life. You're well seasoned. You've experienced a lot in life. So I use that for older people. So for you guys that have never heard that word before, see somebody old, like, wow, those guys are well seasoned. Is there a wealth of knowledge? Anyway, so I having this conversation, and this person kept giving me different hurdles, and well, what about this, and what about this, and what about this? And I finally got to the point is we can sit there and talk about what if and do this and do this. You picked me, and I kind of had to be stern, and I felt bad about this because she's going through so much right now. But sometimes just have to you have to insert your authority, and I try to do it the best way possible, nice for a little bit. I wasn't saying that I was mean about it, but I said is, you want to do this, you want to do this, you want to do this, and you're trying to do it all by yourself. You hired me to handle this stuff. So when are you going to let me start doing what you hired me for?
Yep.
And she's like, well, when can we do it? And I said, I've been telling you over the last couple of weeks of when we can do it, but you keep saying, well, I have to handle this first. I have to handle this first. Handle that stuff. Handle the personal stuff that you have to handle. That's great. That's what I want you to concentrate. Let me handle this situation and help you sell this property and get you into a new property so you can start your new chapter. All this other stuff, you're using it as a crutch to not get to the next spot. And I understand it's hard because we've been in this property for over 30 years, and there's a lot of memories.
It's analysis paralysis.
Yeah. And so I go, you gotta surrender those responsibilities that you think that I don't like to ask people for help. And I said, that's going to be a problem if we're going to make this work. Well, why is it going to be a problem? Because we're going to get to a certain point and you're going to throw up another roadblock, and you're going to throw up another roadblock and a roadblock. Concentrate on all your personal stuff. Allow me to get the movers set up for you. Allow me to get the furniture that you don't want anymore, rid of it for you. Do all this stuff. You concentrate on all the financial and all the other stuff that you have to concentrate on. But until we stop talking about it and get started to move together on the plan that we've laid out multiple times, we're going to be sitting on this couch in another 3 days talking about the same thing. And here we are, 2 months later, and we missed the market. So the point of that is you have to have those conversations to, even though you're getting roadblocks, you have to continue to start, and you have to continue to find a little bit of progress, that 1% every single day, be it, as I said, relationship with a client, relationship with your spouse, relationship with your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever that may be, especially with business. Just, if people are giving you hurdles, keep having that conversation and just move it a little bit further every day. Because if you just say, you know what, I don't want to deal with this client, I don't want to deal with this relationship, that's going to be a bigger loss than anything else. So, any final thoughts for you, my dude?
As always, go make a damn difference. And how you do that is just get started. Do something today that you didn't do yesterday. Do something tomorrow that you didn't do today. And I promise you, it will make a difference in your life and the lives of others around
you. Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for this week. As you've heard, and we probably beat this to death. Mm-hmm. Get started today. And if you have a situation, whatever that may be, just get it started today. If you don't know how to get started, you obviously heard what Brett said is the Linktree. One day I'm going to get this after 164 episodes.
Linktree Brent Wright.
Linktree Brett Wright. Reach out to him. Great business coach, great personal coach. And if you're like, well, I've never heard of him before, again, there's 163 other episodes. You can learn a lot about him. Peel back the onion. At least get started. Make a phone call and let him know this is what I'm struggling with. How do I get started? It's a phone call. It's an email. just start. And if he's not a fit, reach out to me. If we're not a fit, we will get you in touch with any. The point of it is just get started today and start making that difference for the rest of your life. That's it for me. But guys, thank you so much for all of you guys that have subscribed to us, who keep following us, to give us great comments. Again, if you haven't hit the subscribe button on your YouTube or your Spotify or your iTunes or your iHeartRadio, whatever it may be, or Apple Podcasts, whatever that is, stop, hit it right now, hit the notification bell so we get new episodes. When we get new episodes out, you're going to be notified for them. Have a great, great day. Stay safe, but most of all, God bless. Take care.